Oh, g'day there, folks. Keithy Broome on it's Tuesday night. Fantastic Tuesday, the 28th of November. A couple of days till Christmas, a couple of weeks. And the little live one I do tonight's, I'll try and do it nice and quickly if I possibly can. Mohammed, how are you going? Can you just give me a like if you can clearly hear me through the microphone? I'm just having a few problems with this microphone here plugged in USB. So just give me a like if you can hear me clearly. So I'm just moving my US ports around. Yep, all good, fantastic. Now you can see by the title, Back to Basics. What is Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining? I'm going to change glasses here. Mariana Blanca, these are my glasses for reading my screen. When you get as old as I am, Bob and Thomas in Sydney, how you going, mate? And Simon Connolly, how you going? Cast of thousands, fantastic. When you get as old as me, you have to get the right sort of glasses so you can read screens close to you in focus. What is Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining? And I had a very valid question from an older member of our company. Tonight I don't want to mention companies, just about mining Bitcoin. What is it? And what's this all about Bitcoin mining? How can you earn from Bitcoin mining? I spoke to a young guy today who's about 26, got a 3-month or 11-month-old baby, married, and had heard about Bitcoin 3 years ago, but did nothing. Yet the guy who joined my team is in his 60s and is confused about, he wants to earn part-time passive income, but he wants to know what it is and what is Bitcoin mining and how do you earn money and what's all going on and what are people talking about this Bitcoin, what's it all about? So I thought I'd do just a very, very quick basic of what it is, and then maybe you can share this. Just share this on your timeline if you wish to make the very, very basic description. G'day, Carl, how you going? Of what it is and how you can explain it to people via video. So let's go back to the beginning. 2008, an anonymous guy called Satoshi Nakamoto, however you want to pronounce it, decided to build an algorithm that would be outside the banking system for transferring, I guess, data is what it's transferring, but in the terminology, it would be money, an internet-based currency. Now, we get to the day and age we're in now. Very few people use cash. We all use our bits of plastic, and most of us now tap and go. So we don't actually exchange fiat currency, paper money. Most of the time we use our plastic. So we're using zeros and ones, and our bank or banks supposedly hold all our cash physically for us. Although one guy I know, he went to grow $5,000 out of his bank account from his main bank in the main street in the city. And they said, oh, you have to make an appointment to take $5,000 out. He flipped. He said, this is my money you've got. You're a bank. Oh, but we need advance notice to get $5,000 ready. So this is happening. And then today is a kicker. Here is the kicker about, before we get into Bitcoin mining, what is Bitcoin mining and whatever. A friend of mine said, have a look at this article. It's a major financial institution bank here in Australia called Macquarie. They've just changed their interest that they pay on any savings account that you have with them. They call it a transaction account. What they're going to pay if you have over $5,000 in it, over 5,000, they're going to pay you 1.1% per annum. That's their new effective from the 1st of January 2018. So this company, this bank, has said, okay, if you've got to have $5,000 in an account, then we're going to pay you 1.1% per year on your money over 5,000. If it's under 5,000, you get nothing. So this is where the banks are heading. This is unbelievable. So this is why people are focused and going, wow, Bitcoin, internet money. How can I get involved? What do I have to do? It's an internet-based currency. You cannot hold a Bitcoin in your hand. Started in 2008, went live in 2009, and started trading. So people could buy and sell. Exchanges were set up. And back in the early days, they were like, one Bitcoin was a quarter of a cent or whatever it was when it virtually started, just like a lot of the altcoins now. And it gradually grew in value as people traded and bought and sold. And the algorithm and the guy behind it, Satoshi Nakamoto, said there's only going to ever be 21 million Bitcoins. And we're going to mine them so many per day and calculate when the 21 millionth is actually mined. So currently, 2017, we're in a 4-year cycle. Started last year, 2016. Every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoins per day is halved. So at the moment, we're mining 1,800 Bitcoins per day, 1,800. So that's first year of 4, so it'll be 2018, 19, 20. 2020, it'll go from 1,800 Bitcoins per day down to 900 Bitcoins per day. And then you go another 4 years, 2021, 22, 23, 2024, it'll go from 900 down to 450 a day. And you get the picture, 2028 down to 225, 2032 down to, what's 225 down to 100 and, what's that? Quick, 25, 113 a day. It's calculated that the last 21 millionth Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2140. That's 123 years from now, which means we've got a lot of years to go in a finite number of Bitcoins. And I'll just go quickly to coincap.io, coincap.io. You can see Bitcoin's at the top. It's turned over $158 trillion, not billion. Oh, hang on, billion. Million, yeah, $158 billion. It's trading at 9,901. It's changing up now, it's live here. 9,900. So it's almost hit 10,000 American dollars, right? The available supply is 16,706,425 Bitcoins. So that's how many there are in circulation around the world right now. And tomorrow, another 1,800 will be added to that. So it'll go to 1,800. So it'll be 16,707,000 and whatever it is, 1,800, right? But each Bitcoin has, say for one Bitcoin is 1 point and then 8 zeros after it. And this is where people don't really understand Bitcoin. So it's 0 or 1.0000000, 8 zeros after the 1 and the dot. So a dollar is 1.00. That's it. 99 cents, a dollar. Bitcoin, 8 zeros is 100 million fragments of a Bitcoin. So you can break one Bitcoin right down to 100 million pieces. So, for example, if I wanted to buy this pen here, right? I'll buy a packet of these for $3.30 at my local office supply network. So it'd be $3.30. So in today's price of Bitcoin, at nearly $10,000 for one Bitcoin, this would cost me in a packet of 4, 0.0000127 of a Bitcoin. Now, if I came back a year later and Bitcoin's trading at $25,000 or $33,000 for one Bitcoin, this set of 4 pens is still, it might have gone up a bit, might be $5 now for a pack of 4. So the $5 would cost me in Bitcoin would be 0.000000176 of a Bitcoin. So you can break it down into 100 million parts, which is unbelievably technologically, if that's a word, smart. And that way, all these Bitcoins can be broken down into small components. So people got to understand that Bitcoins started in 2008, went live in 2009, can be broken to 100 million parts, and is traded back and forth, back and forth. It's a very volatile. It's decentralized. How is Bitcoin run? The guy asked me today, well, yeah, I know about Bitcoin, it's $10,000, but how does it work? Well, if you go to your local bank, I don't have my wallet here, never have my wallet here. Your local bank runs their business on computers. So in my case, I'm in an Australian New Zealand bank, ANZ Bank. They would have in one of their multi-story buildings that they own, banks own everything, they'd have 2 or 3 floors with supercomputers running their business, running all their ATMs, running all their teller machines, running the network so you can go online and do work online with the banks. So they have banks and banks of supercomputers. Bitcoin is the same. Bitcoin runs on computers. Now, how did that start in the early days when Bitcoin started? People at home would have a tower on their, I've got a screen here, and they just buy or have the right sort of graphics card and a little chip, and they would connect to the Bitcoin network, and they would be part of the Bitcoin network. They would be a miner because they're doing all the work of making sure the transactions and the calculated equations of Bitcoin, the algorithm, are completely satisfied and correct and true. And for doing all that work and the power and using their computer, everything, they would be paid in part of the transaction fees. Now, the miners are paid in transaction fees. So when I move Bitcoin from one account to another, or pay someone, or go to the ATM and I pay a fee, it's only a tiny fee, but there's hundreds of thousands of transactions per day, and there's more and more and more going as we go along, that the transaction fees are paid to the miners for doing the work. So they're getting millions of dollars a day. And what do they do with the millions of dollars? Well, they have to buy updated computers. They have to buy now updated graphics card and chips, because the Bitcoin transaction speed is getting faster and faster. Some of the bigger companies now said, well, instead of people having them at home, as they did 4 or 5 computers and running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the company said, well, why don't we just buy a warehouse somewhere nice and cold, like Iceland or Sweden or China or Peru or somewhere, and stick 20,000 computers in there and all connect them to the Bitcoin network, and we'll get the transaction fees to run our business, and we'll make some millions of dollars worth of profit. So that's where the term Bitcoin mining. And then when these big warehouses with dozens and dozens of computers came in, then they became mining farms, because they were doing all the work and they set up farms. Now, the company I'm associated with, they've got 20, 30, 40,000 computers, just one after the other in big warehouses, boom, 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 all connected to the Bitcoin network, all running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and all solving the complicated equations and problems of the Bitcoin algorithm. Now, that's one coin. Now there's Ethereum, Dashcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, you name it. Bitcoin, IOTA, Neo, NEM. There's over 1,200 now that are all mined, or some of them are, some of them aren't mined by, I don't know how they get their, some of the main ones are mined by the bigger companies. The other ones must be mined by smaller companies, I guess. And that's pretty hard to find out from my point of view. I haven't really focused on that. So Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the top, say 10, all are mined through Bitcoin mining farms or Ethereum mining, or altcoin is the other terminology, altcoin. So these companies have set up big banks of computers to contribute their computer power to the Bitcoin network so it runs smoothly. So that's where Bitcoin mining comes in. Now, why do they sell contracts? Well, they want capital. A big company like, for example, the company that I'm associated with is the biggest company outside of China. Without naming names, their turnover for the last 12 months was $1 billion. Now, the 12 months prior to that was 100 million. So their business has gone up 10 times in 12 months. 10 times in 12 months. You imagine owning a corner shop selling beautifully homemade pies, chicken and leek pies, beef and mushroom pies, spinach and ricotta pies, chicken tandoori pies. I love those with the crunchy pastry, puff pastry. And the word gets out that these pies are the best on the planet. And you go from making 200 pies a day and selling them by 3:30 in the afternoon, for when you try to open at 6 a.m. in the morning, there's a queue of 15 people. And then the next week, there's a queue of 30 people. And then there's a queue of 100 people that they've just driven for miles to get your pies. And you have to start earlier. You have to put on more chefs. You have to get bigger ovens, because instead of making 200 pies, all of a sudden, within 12 months, you're trying to make 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 pies a day. And you just don't have the equipment. You've got to go and buy some more ovens. You've got to go to your supplier. I need more pastry. I need more flour. Can you give me a discount on the flour? It's the same with Bitcoin mining. everybody's gone, hang on, part-time passive income, I can either buy Bitcoin and hold it, or I can buy Bitcoin and then buy some contracts with it. Because these companies need capital so they can go out and buy more computers. So this company I'm talking about, they've been sourcing computers from the manufacturer, and they placed orders and they can't get any. So they've placed orders for the next few months to get that equipment. They can't make and build and grow their Bitcoin mining farms fast enough for the demand. Now, I was out today and I paid for my coffee with my Bitcoin card, and I asked the girl at the coffee, it's a coffee club, it's a franchise in Australia, can I pay with Bitcoin? Do you accept Bitcoin? And she said, oh, I don't know, but we'll soon see. And I swiped my card, put my PIN in, and it went through, no problem. And she said, oh, well, I guess it works. But she still didn't know what Bitcoin was. But she said, all right, it's through. So all she was worried about that I was going to pay for it. So my card converts Bitcoin into local Australian dollars. So I pay for my coffee, 2 coffees and a chicken toasted sandwich. It was $18, pretty expensive, with Bitcoin converted into Australian dollars. She was happy. I was happy because I'd made that money through Bitcoin going up and through my Bitcoin mining. So actually my coffee and my chicken sandwich today was free. And that's what's getting people excited, that they can put $1,000 in or $500 or $100 into Bitcoin and choose to either hold Bitcoin or go into Bitcoin mining, where you can buy a $30 US contract and get paid anywhere between 15 and 18 cents a day. And in 6 months, you get your $30 back. If you compound your Bitcoin contracts and just buy more and more, your Ethereum contracts, buy more and more and more over a business plan of 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, and turn that profit into more profit, into more profit and more profit. And after 12 months of doing that you have a small income coming in without having to do one thing at all, nothing. And that's the major thing that people love about Bitcoin mining. They're not picking up a shovel like the one at the back or the pick there. See the pick at the back? They're not picking up a pick and digging in the ground. It's cloud mining. A big company is doing all the work for them. All they do is buy contracts and get paid every day into their account. Most of these companies do. Some companies are saying we've got Bitcoin mining operations in place and there's nothing there. So you've got to be very wary of doing all the research you can on every single company you think about putting your money into a mining contract, or finding a good company that has a Bitcoin exchange. And there's probably thousands upon thousands now. I'm with a company in Australia called CoinJar. A couple of young Chinese guys started it 4 or 5 years ago. Brilliant, smart, run a great platform, very, very clean, easy to access. They've got an FPOS card, which I use every day, and very clean platform, but they only do Bitcoin. They're thinking about Ethereum and others, but another one in Australia called CoinSpot. You could do about 4 different coins. So wherever you are in the world, there's different exchanges that you can put your money and convert it into the local coin of your choice. So you've got to be careful what you do there with their fees and everything, because everyone has to make money to survive in their business. So Bitcoin has just taken off. I'd say I've been involved in Bitcoin for the last 2 years. I've been living off Bitcoin, I would say, for 18 months now. And I've seen the changes. And the last 3 months has exploded in the interest of everybody, because the price is just, 9,900. Ethereum is at 477 today. 3 weeks ago, it was 295. What's going on there? Well, Ethereum has a different application as opposed to Bitcoin. Ethereum is a straight out money, and people love money. It's digital. In Australia, in 6 months from now, I'd say 25% of the population will know about Bitcoin. At the moment, 1/10 of the population do. So because I know a bit, I just talk to everyone I can every day. People are starting to say, hey, Keithy, what's going on with Bitcoin mining? How does it work? Can you teach me? Can you show me how to do it? I said, yeah, that's what I do. The more people I help, the better for me. Obviously, in any business, you've got to help people to succeed yourself. G'day, Matt. How you going, mate? Down in Sydney there. I think you're in Sydney. And Tony, how you going? Brenny, how you going, mate? All good. Rudy, good to see some of you folks on. Getting hungry now. Good on you, Carl. we're all getting hungry, mate. 2018, the first 6 months, once we hit January the 1st to July the 1st, that first 6 months in the Bitcoin world, Ethereum, all the top 5 or 6 coins, they will explode in value. They'll drag gold and silver with them. The acceptance of Bitcoin is now, it's legal in South Korea, Japan, and Russia. So 3 countries have said, yep, it's not a commodity, it's actually a currency. You can trade it. In Australia, some businesses accept Bitcoin for payment already. So in some cafes, you can go with your phone and just with your little QR code, you can scan and pay Bitcoin into their Bitcoin account for a coffee. You can buy a house. Someone's trying to sell houses using Bitcoin. I think it's in Australia or overseas. People are trying to sell their cars for Bitcoin, accepting Bitcoin in payment. Because if you're smart enough, or if you're wise or had been told to get involved in Bitcoin, even 12 months ago, it was $1,000, $1,200. Now it's in Australian dollars, it's 13,000 Australian dollars. So 10x your money in 12 months, as opposed to, and I just went to this online advert, Macquarie Bank here in Australia. If you got more than $5,000 in your transaction account, they'll give you 1.1% per annum. That is really, really big of them. That is awesome. But if you have up to $250,000 for 4 months, they'll give you 2.65. Wow. Now, if you'd have put $1,000 into a Bitcoin account, in Australian dollars I'm talking, and at $1,000 or $1,200, now it's 13,000. So your $1,000 turns into 13,000 local money. It's the same amount of Bitcoin. So people get a little bit confused there. So if you buy, for example, a quarter of a Bitcoin, you can buy a tiny, tiny fraction. You can buy $20 of a Bitcoin if you want to. But say you went and say, well, I've got Bitcoin's $10,000 now, American. I'll buy a quarter of a Bitcoin, 0.25 of Bitcoin. It costs you about 2,500 American dollars, and you just put it into a Bitcoin account, left it, and then come back in a year's time. Didn't even touch it, 0.25. When you come back in 1 year, you'd still have 0.25 there. People don't quite get that. It's still 2.25 sitting there, but the local value has gone up of people buying and selling and trading. The value of that 0.25 will fluctuate. At the moment, it's just going up. So it might cost you 0.25 might cost you 2,500, but in a year's time, that $2,500 worth of value may be worth $7 or $8 or $9 or $10,000 because Bitcoin has gone to $40,000, which is not impossible. People are saying I'll go to 100,000, 200,000. But remember, there's 8 zeros after Bitcoin. So you can break that down to 100 million parts. So the technology here is superb. So what's actually happening? Overall picture to finish off. I'm 59. I was born in 1958. If you can get the header out. I don't think there's anyone older than me here, is it? Tony, you look like an old bloke. Sorry, mate. Matt, I know you're a young bloke. Royce, Intezar, I know you look pretty young. I'm 59. So when I grew up, it was pounds, shillings, and pence in New Zealand. And I had to learn £1 was broken up into shillings, and each shilling was so many pence. And I had these little coins, and a few big paper notes like that. And then in 1966 or 1967, we changed to dollars and cents. So now as a school kid, I think I was 67, I was only 9 years old. I had to learn, instead of going to the tuck shop, the food shop, buy my lollies and chocolates and ice cream, whatever you do as a kid, that I had to change from thinking about pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal currency of $1.99 maximum to make $2. Next one. So I had to wrap my head around that. And so I've been living with dollars and cents. And now I'm starting to learn about Bitcoin in the last couple of years, of 100 million pieces of a Bitcoin. And one Bitcoin is 100 million pieces. So I'm wrapping my head around that now, that it's a digital currency, that I can't hold a Bitcoin, but I can open an account, put my Australian dollars in and convert it to Bitcoin, and then go out with my card and swipe it and spend Bitcoin. that's converted back to the Australian dollar. Most of the things I buy now because of the price of Bitcoin going up is free. Wrap your head around that. My coffee today, my chicken sandwich, and I bought coffee for a guys just joined my team. It's free because Bitcoin's just jumped so much in the last 12 months. So any Bitcoins I've got, and they're the local value, is just jumped. So I just buy everything, petrol, food, my beer, coffee, sandwiches, and most of it's free for what I've got in there. The guy I had coffee with today, Callum, if he's watching, don't think he is. G'day, Gary, how you going? And Rainier, how you going? Rainier Barton, how you going? All right. He knew about Bitcoin in 2014 when it was $20 for a Bitcoin. And he attended a lecture at university. It was a multimedia lecture. I did a Facebook Live with him, so just check down below, Callum. And his lecturer said, you've got to get involved in Bitcoin now. Do not do anything but buy Bitcoin now at $20 each. And that was 2014. He said a lot of the students in that particular lecture did buy Bitcoin. He didn't. And he said, oh, I think I screwed up there big time, but I think it's not too late. And he's right. If he had done and bought $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000, he would be laughing all the way to the Bitcoin bank now and the local money of exchanging it. But even now at 13,000 Australian or nearly 10,000 American, just go back to CoinCap.io, it's 9,877. It's up 3.29% in the last 24 hours. 16,706,642 Bitcoins are in circulation out of 21 million. We've still got 127 years before we hit 21 million. So it's a finite supply. And this is what people say, well, I get that now, that there's only 21 million. So there won't be any more made as opposed to the US dollar. So if they run out of dollars or they've got no money to shell out, what does Donald Trump do? He just gets on the phone to the Treasury. Okay, guys, Monday morning, can you print us off for $1 trillion there? Thank you very much, guys. It's your president. Hey, Donald. They just print more money. And then it loses its value. $100 worth of shopping in your cart just goes slowly down and down and down. Suzanne, how you going? Marco, how you going? There's a lot of people up late. Well, I'm up late, 10 past 11 at night. So we're doing Bitcoin basics. If you've got any questions, please fire away, because that's the whole point of doing a live video, that people can throw questions at you. If you've got something you're not quite sure about, what does this mean? What is Bitcoin? What's a Bitcoin wallet? Bitcoin wallet is a Bitcoin wallet address is normally about 35 letters and numbers long. And in some of my particular one in CoinJar, every time I go into my back office, it changes for security purposes. It just changes. So it's always linked to my account. But when I pay for things with a Bitcoin wallet address, it changes every time, which is good for security. So pretty exciting stuff. If you're thinking about, just give us some likes if you've already got a wallet, or just say yes, yes, yes on the comments out of people who are watching. If you've got am I preaching to the converted? Do you know all about Bitcoin already and Bitcoin mining? If you're getting involved in cryptocurrency, 3 ways you can make your money. And that's transfer your local currency into Bitcoin and leave it in a wallet. Transfer your local currency into a Bitcoin wallet and then move that into a trading platform like Bittrex or Poloniex. And the third way is transfer your local money into Bitcoin, or buy Bitcoin mining contracts or Ethereum mining contracts or Litecoin, Dashcoin contracts, and start earning passively back into your account. So the 3 ways. I like a couple of them. I don't like the trading, because you've got to be always online checking, buying, selling high, buying low. And if you miss or get some automated software, I know people who do it, but they've got to put a lot of hours in. And to be honest, I couldn't be bothered. Tony, how you going? Found out my CoinJar swipe card doesn't work in New Zealand. No, that's right. I want more Bitcoin when I get back to Oz this week. Oh, good on you, mate. Cool. Do they accept it in the Buena Vista? With my card, they do, Matt. See, I was down there about a month ago, and I used my swipe card from CoinJar, converts to the local Aussie. So 2 pints are heavy, but paid with my Bitcoin card, Matt. So all good down. So, yeah. But no one else goes to the Buena Vista anymore, mate. So you get straight to the front of the queue. There's no queue. You just go and order your beers and then swipe, because they do all pubs now. Because I love having a beer and go to the pub. They have the little machines, the card reader machines, or the on the counters now. You swipe or tap and go. So I just use my Bitcoin card, swipe, bump, 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 four numbers, enter, bang, goes through. So yes, Matt, they do, mate. Isn't that awesome? So, but in a year or 2 years in Australia, when I do that, yeah, Sean will be happy about that. In 2 years from now, most companies or businesses like that local hotel or the local supermarket will have Bitcoin scanners set up. This is what I reckon, and within 2 years in Australia. So I'll just be able to get my phone, go to a QR code for my CoinJar account, my Bitcoin account, and my local supermarket will accept Bitcoin, and I'll just get all my groceries, and I'll just pay Bitcoin, phone up to them, boom, and they will accept my Bitcoin to Bitcoin. That will happen in a couple of years in Australia. This is great to have you recorded this. Yeah, this is recorded, mate, and I'm going to post it on Facebook as well, on YouTube, sorry. So you can use this. It's 31 minutes. It's a bit of a ramble, but it's really basics of what Bitcoin is and how people can so just slowly get in. And here's the one thing to finish. If you know Bitcoin's been going up and up, you know, in February 2013, that's 4.5 years ago, in Australia, you could buy one Bitcoin for 12 Australian dollars. Now it is $13,000. So that's 12 into 13,000. That's astronomical. What I recommend people do now is open a Bitcoin account just to get involved. And instead of saying, well, okay, we're saving for Christmas, so a bit too late now, but we're saving for Easter next year or school holidays, and we want to take the kids to the beach, and there's always this apartment I'd like to rent, so it's going to cost about $700 for the week for the apartment, plus buying stuff and the kids and water sports and hiring a boat and whatever, a canoe, and so it's going to cost about $3,000 or $4,000. Let's start putting $50 into the bank every week and just have that as our savings to save for our holiday. What's the bank going to do? Well, the bank in Australia just said, if you got more than $5,000, we'll now give you 1.1% per annum interest. If you got less than $5,000, we'll give you nothing. That's what's happening with the banks. Unless you got $250,000 for 4 months, we'll give you 2.65% per annum. Wow. Imagine now opening a Bitcoin account and saying, right, in 8 months' time, we're going for a holiday. Here's our plan. We'll put $50 a week into our Bitcoin account. Boom. Every week, $50 a week. So that's $200 a month times 6, $1,200. How much is that $1,200 going to be like in 6 to 12 months from now? That $1,200 of just $50 a week saving would go from $1,200 to maybe $2,000 worth of local currency, or maybe $3,000 worth of local currency. So if you maybe put $100 a week, 400 times 6, $2,400 would go to $7,000 or $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 if Bitcoin keeps going up and up and up. So you can see the excitement you could create by just telling people, hey, just open a Bitcoin account and start putting little bits of dollars in your local currency into Bitcoin and leave it there and see how it goes up, and just get involved slowly. And then when it comes time for the holiday, you convert your Bitcoin back to local currency, take the cash out of an ATM with a card, and you go and spend on your holiday. Instead of it staying in a 3-star apartment, you can upgrade to a 4 or a 5-star for the family, all because of Bitcoin and the digital technology behind the currency. This is how it can change everybody's life very, very quickly and even. And that's why the banks are a bit dumbfounded. And that's why in Australia, when you go to the ATM, you used to be charged $2 to take money out of the ATM using your card. They've dropped that now as of a month ago. So when I take my Bitcoin card and taken in. I took out $800 2 days ago. $800 cash. I didn't get charged $2. Something's going on. The banks know something's going on, and they're behaving weirdly. So just be aware that 2018, the first 6 months of Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to explode. Litecoin, Dashcoin, Zcash. That's the hidden one, Zcash. If you know what Zcash, just Google Zcash and what it actually is. It's even more secure and private than Bitcoin. And that's people are just going to Zcash. Just keep your eye on Zcash. What's Zcash at the moment? Zcash is number 17 on the all-time list with $961 million worth of turnover, $350 for one Zcash coin. It's up 4.36% today. That's just staggering. It's just jumped. That was 100 and something a month ago. The other one that's just gone up is Dashcoin. Oh my God, it's 609 now. And Litecoin, 91. All the big major ones are going through the roof. And Ethereum, 477. It's dropped back a little at 466 at the moment. But that was 295 about a month ago. So that's gone up $170 or something like that. Almost doubled in a month. Sensational. All right. Cheers, pal. I've said enough. It was tremendous value. That's Tony. That's what it's all about, mate. If anyone's got a last question before I go, just fire something at a question at me, because there might be something that you've been dying to ask, or something about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, mining, contracts, something like that. Just fire some question at me, because this is the opportunity where the information I've gathered over the last 2 years I can pass on to you, and you can pass on to someone else. Now, this particular recording will go up on my Keithy Broome Crypto YouTube channel. So if you're obviously on Facebook, you'll see, I'll put a link actually into my Facebook, my YouTube channel, Keithy Broome Crypto. And then that way you can just have a look at that. Are you talking about Dashcoin? Suzanne, no, Dashcoin, because that's not live yet. That's a coin that's been built by a company that's actually not live yet. Dashcoin is, DASH is number 7, $4,697 in transactions since it started. It's at $607 a coin now. Dashcoin is a privately funded coin, and I don't think it's on this particular. I'll just search for it. DAS coin, Dashcoin. Nothing. It's not live yet. It's from, if it's Dashcoin, there's another one called OneCoin. There's a million coins, something coin. Dashcoin is a privately run business, multi-level, sort of buy coins and buy tokens, and they will become a coin when we launch. If it's Dashcoin, the one I think about, it was supposed to launch last year, and they postponed it back to January, then they postponed it to April, then they postponed it to September, then it's supposed to be December, but it may be going to 2018 before they launch it. So that's what I think. Tony, what's IzeCoin? Is it IZE? I or an L? LZE coin. There's over 1,200. Nothing there, mate. It's not live. It might be an I. I'll go back and put an I in instead. IzeCoin. No, nothing showing on CoinCap. So hope you know I'm sure. Yeah, Tony, yeah, to go for it. That's the whole idea, because I'm not mentioning companies. I'm just mentioning Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. What is it? Back to basics. Some people really need the basics of what it is, how to get involved. And it's as simple as finding a Bitcoin wallet through a company in your country, and get it, just like opening any sort of account, bank account, whatever, and then putting some of your local currency into that account and converting it into Bitcoin and have it sit there. Put $20 in and just have it sit there as Bitcoin. And watch Bitcoin up. Your $20 worth of value goes to $22 worth of Bitcoin. It's the same amount of Bitcoin, but the local value goes up and down. So if you buy 0.0 0.001 of a Bitcoin and it's worth $25. The next day you come back and it's worth $26.50. It's still 0.0010 of a Bitcoin. That stays the same. It's the local value goes up and down on the trading of Bitcoin, not the Bitcoin you've got in your account. That never changes unless you spend it or buy or do something with it. But the local value of it goes up and down. Now, the local value of one Bitcoin last year was $700. Now, if I'd had, I did have one Bitcoin last year. I had quite a few Bitcoins, but I've been living off it for 18 months. So I was spending it as I was earning it. So one Bitcoin was 700. Now it's 13,000. But I still have a little bit of Bitcoin there. So that one Bitcoin would stay the same, but the value has just skyrocketed. So that's why people have become millionaires, because they had 10 Bitcoins 7 years ago. They bought them for $10 each. And they said, oh, I'll buy $100 worth, just forgot about it, put it on their computer and forgot about it. And now it's worth 13,000 each, and they got 10 of them, $130,000. Or some people had 100 Bitcoin at $10 each and spent $1,000. 100 Bitcoins now, 1.3 million. Oh my God. All these things that you think about, what could have happened to you? We've all been through these opportunities that we've seen and done nothing and passed you by. Well, we're in the midst of it now. Here's an opportunity. And you're going to start with $20, $30, $40 and get involved with Bitcoin. So if this is of any value, just share this. Just hit the share button, put it on your timeline. I'm going to convert it to a YouTube video, and you can just use it to show people how to explain Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. And it's rambling for 40 minutes. Too long, way too long, as per usual, but I get carried away and everyone's sort of fantastic. Not too late to invest, though. Absolutely right, Carl. It's, the predictions are from the experts. We'll go to 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000 for one coin, broken down to 100 million parts. Absolutely. Still get involved for $20, $30, or I think you're in the UK, so pounds or whatever, sterling, whatever your currency is. It's just, you can do anything at the moment because, as I said before, and to finish off, 2018, the first 6 months are going to be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm really, really, really excited about them. So thanks for watching, folks. I'm going to go now. 11:25, time for me to go to bed on a Tuesday night. And look forward to speaking to you soon. And I'll put this up on YouTube. I'll put the link in the comments so you can come back and see that. Have a good one and stay positive. One foot in front of the other, and we all will succeed because it's all about mindset. Mindset is everything. Have a good one, folks. See you later. Bye-bye.